Let me see your identification.
What did you say? Now tighten those restraints, scavenger scum.
We don't need to see his identification.
I will remove these restraints and leave the cell with the door open.
My lord.
Don't tell her. Don't tell her. Don't tell her. Don't tell her. Don't tell her.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, lack of preparation, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking
Preparation H. What?
about. Yeah, Preparation H. Isn't that something for your asshole?
Yeah, it's a hemorrhoids thing.
Oh, okay. Do you is it like a cream? Do you rub it on your ass?
Yeah. I mean, basically, right there on the taint.
Yeah.
You've never had a hemorrhoid?
I don't think so. Well, no. I think I did back when I was 18. I used to ride a bike a lot. It had a very uncomfortable seat, and my ass would hurt a lot afterwards and in between. So I don't know. Maybe.
There's a lot. We could go.
So this goes back to...
We could go a lot of places with this, Jason.
Oh, thanks, Kristen. See, you're missing in the chat. My lovely wife, Kristen, who I love very much, busted my balls. Anyway, so yeah, this week's episode is brought to you by Preparation H. And I'm Mr. Jason Roscom. With me here each and every single week, the Darth Vader to my Palpatine, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I am not here.
No?
You are looking at, this is a projected image of me right now.
Oh, okay. Like a hologram.
Mm-hmm. Completely empty and devoid of any emotion or information.
All right, fair enough.
So I'm here to just respond to any input that you provide.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
That is what I'm here to do today.
All right. And what are we covering today?
We're going to cover a book that yeah, we're covering a book. It's called Lords of the Sith.
Yes.
And
it's an older book. Came out in 2015, but it's still part of current canon.
Right. Yeah, it's Lords of the Sith. So in this I don't know, this idea is we're moving towards Andor.
Yep.
I mean it's fucking next week.
Yeah.
Next week we're in full Andor froth right now.
That's right.
We're getting
doing our recap next week for the show.
Yeah,
and then the next day it releases.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, this is like we're in a bit of a Star Wars kind of surge right now.
Yeah.
And it's good.
And I think it's most of it is based around Andor and
and
Celebration that's happening.
Celebration,
which I think I made a mistake when I told you it was 2 weeks from now. I think it's this weekend.
This weekend,
yes,
coming up.
Yes,
Easter weekend.
That does well. It's in Japan. Do they care about Easter?
My penis is so smooth.
Maybe some of them do. Put it in a little egg, little magic egg.
Right. We're just gonna settle this right now.
My penis is so smooth.
That we're gonna settle that, or are we gonna settle the Preparation H and bike seat conversation?
I mean, I can elaborate if you really want.
Not really.
Okay. No, it was just a very uncomfortable bike seat. I had to ride it a lot. I was doing it for work when I was a security guard.
You were doing it for work, all right.
Yeah. Okay, so
look, I'm responding to inputs today. That's
all right.
You team up. I'm just gonna bounce them back.
All right. April 18th to the 20th. So that's this weekend.
Okay.
For Celebration. Wait a minute. This weekend is Easter?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say about that.
Okay.
I don't have too much to say.
But anyway, I used to have to ride a bike a lot. In like this back lot. Well, I didn't have to, but it made doing my rounds a lot easier. And it was kind of like the work bike. But God, uncomfortable as hell seat, and it, like it would cause me like this irritation down there that would last for days, and it kind of felt like it was swollen a little bit. So maybe.
So you put a little Preparation H on your finger and went to town on it?
No, I wasn't familiar with Preparation H at the time. So
how about Tux medicated pads?
No, I didn't do anything to treat
like
it.
that?
No, I
just stopped
riding the bike.
No, it's more of the when you're you're not finished wiping until the red indicator shows up.
Red indicate blood?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah.
You weren't as heavy a drinker as I was.
Clearly not.
Yeah, it's I mean, yeah.
So wait, heavy drinking causes hemorrhoids?
Yeah.
Oh.
It can.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah, it's yeah.
All right then. So we'll just move on from that. So yeah, Lords of the Sith. But before we get into Lords of the Sith, we have some business to get to. So maybe we should talk about Patreon first.
You should start talking about Patreon
All right. Well,
immediately.
As always, we'd love to give a huge shout out to all of our current patrons: Frank Kalevich, Don Solsky, Helen Martin, Shotgun Mark, Nick from Sweet Studios, Scott and Kim from Used and Abused, Catherine Rennick, Tina Land, Wally Frogmore, my mother-in-law, Patricia Goodstein.
What?
Nothing. I was just going to wait and see if you caught on.
You didn't say.
No, I didn't say wonderful.
Uh-oh.
Lord Helmet Fire, The Orange and Fett Show, Carly Vickers, David Schmuck, Chantal from Pop My Culture, Kristen Roscom, Sterling Azier, Dragon Buddy, Frederick Martin, and Nicholas Schaefer. If you'd like to consider becoming a supporter, you can find us at patreon.com/thesidebarcantina. Thank you again to all of our listeners and supporters. You are the reason why we do this.
There, I covered for you.
Covered how? What'd you do? What do you say in the chat, man?
It's on the screen.
Got it. Very good.
Can't ruin the show by you messing that up. I really need a list of the names of our Patreon supporters. I need a list.
Okay.
Cut and paste that shit and put it into the chat or
Sure.
into our notes. Put it into our notes. That actually would be better.
Yeah. It's easy enough.
Do that right now.
I'm working on it.
Right now.
We're doing the show right now.
God damn it, Jason. That's the wrong button.
The sacred Jedi.
Do it.
I'm working on it.
I've been meaning to do this for fucking months.
All right, there it is.
Months. There we go. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Was that so fucking hard?
No, it never was.
I actually had to ask.
My penis is so smooth.
Oh, what do I have? I have
Yeah.
Sidebar headlines. From the Office of Luna Girl. Last week, with Mercury's retrograde ending, those who knew, and that is. I think that's it. I had something for this.
So I just got a text from my wonderful mother-in-law, Patricia Goodstein. I'm so disappointed in you.
I tried to cover for him. He won't make that mistake again.
All right.
Yeah, that's it. There's no new Sidebar headlines. We'll catch up with ATSW family happenings at the end of the show.
Okay.
I did have something, but I forgot. So
Got this weird rash.
Have some preparation H for you.
There you go.
You can rub that on there.
Yeah.
It will make the inflammation go down. I mean, so all right.
What?
So do you remember? You never had this issue, right? Because you were in shape for most of your Air Force career.
Yeah.
So you didn't have like fat boy issues. So I had fat boy issues where I was like, I'd be stressing come PT test time because of the waist measurement thing.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I max out push-ups and sit-ups and never had an issue with the run, even though I fucking hated it.
Mm.
I hate running. Running's bad for you, by the way. If you didn't know, yes, it is. It's terrible for you.
Okay.
Anyway, but the waist measurement for the Air Force, which was so fucking ridiculous and arbitrary, and isn't at all a measurement of your actual fucking fitness, I'd struggle with it. So and obviously there's a lot of fucking fat kids out there that had the same issue. So one of the tricks that would get passed around in the fat kid community
Uh-huh.
was you'd put preparation H around like your belly, and then you wrap it in fucking saran wrap, and like overnight.
Really?
And right before you fucking go to get your waist measurement, you fucking take all that shit off, and it supposedly would shrink your belly. You know, it would get rid of all the water,
Yeah.
and it would shrink it.
Huh.
But it's a fucking. I don't know anybody that it had actually worked for.
Oh, how
And
many
then-
times have you tried it?
None. I
Okay.
never did it. But never. I don't even want to get into PT test fucking ridiculousness. But I know people that did try it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
You said it didn't work though.
no, nothing appreciable. I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where just the act of doing something, you're going to make a change.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to, do something. Helmet fire talking about it. It's a vasoconstrictor. Yeah. So, like I said, there's theoretical science that it would work, but towards the end they started to actually like look at it to see if you were like, because you'd be all like red and irritated from it. So if that was the case, then they kind of would recognize like, oh, hey, you're trying to fucking cheat the system.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, the preparation H thing, it's, like I said, if you had been a fat kid, good on you for not having to worry about that. But it got around in the fat kid community that this was a thing.
Okay. I had never heard that.
See?
Thankfully.
Yeah, lucky you.
All right. So moving on. We got a little update to that video game that I was showing off last week, the Star Wars tactical game that we were talking. Remember, I had the screenshots.
Yes.
And I showed them.
Yes.
Well,
that was last week.
Yeah. Last week or 2 weeks ago. Either way, they gave us a little more information on it this morning, and the game is called Star Wars Zero Company, and I'm just going to read you this description from this article from StarWars.com.
Okay.
Recruit an unconventional team of operatives and deploy them on missions unlike any other in the galaxy, or in the galaxy far, far away, in Star Wars Zero Company. The newly announced single-player turn-based tactics game developed by BitReactor in collaboration with Respawn Entertainment and Lucasfilm Games will share the first details about the game currently in development at Star Wars Celebration in Japan.
My penis is smooth.
Here's your exclusive first look at Star Wars Zero Company. So they shared one image, which I'll go ahead and put it on my screen for the YouTube.
He says,
Share screen.
almost doing it in some timely manner.
Almost. There we go. So share. Oh, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
So that's a screenshot they gave with some characters that are in it. Apparently, it takes place during the Clone Wars era. So you got a clone trooper in there. You got a Mandalorian-looking guy in the back. You got a droid, some dude with a lightsaber, some other thing. So it's shaping up to be something that I'm going to find pretty entertaining, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like I said before, I love these tactical games, and that's right up my fucking alley. So, looking forward to that. And this weekend, we will find out more from Celebration.
Celebration.
And that's really all I had for any kind of news or anything. I think everything, they're waiting. They're waiting to announce most of the stuff because Celebration is in a few days, and you know that they're going to have all kinds of shit to reveal.
Right.
Probably more games than just that. Probably a new streaming show, probably all kinds of stuff. So we'll see this weekend, but that's all the news. So should we get into our weeks?
Yes.
All right. Do you have a real ID?
I do not.
Okay.
Not yet.
Uh,
I have to. I have
yeah,
to get one.
I was going to say, because apparently if you have any plans to fly after this month, then you better have either a passport or a real ID because...
Military IDs are...
Really?
Yeah.
Are they real IDs?
they're government issue. They're the same effect as a passport
Really?
because they're federally issued IDs.
Huh. And you're sure about that?
100%.
Okay. Even retiree IDs.
They should be the same as any other.
Okay.
But saying that, you should still do it.
Yeah, do it.
If for nothing else, because while we know the rules, that doesn't mean that other people that should know the rules that are looking at something, like they may not know the rules. Yeah. It's one of those things where you go up to the counter and be like, "Oh yeah, this is good," and they go like, "That's not a real ID," and like, "Yes, it is," and they'll go, and like, see this passport, the issuing agency of this passport is the same issuing agency of the United States government that issued me this fucking identification.
Right.
Go fuck yourself. It's the same fucking thing. You stupid twat. Go get your supervisor. Yeah. I'm gonna fucking beat you to death.
Man, Dave's already come up with this scenario in his head.
Oh, because it you can see it. You can fucking see it happening.
Yeah.
Because people don't bother to actually understand what a rule is.
Right.
And they just fucking go. They love people. People love to say no. They want to have that little bit of power.
Right.
Over you. Right. And
so you're talking TSA in this
I'm
case?
talking no, I don't think TSA would, because I mean their shit's all scanner driven, right? They're just trying to validate IDs. Like, and honestly, for them it's easier to just let you fucking go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problems at TSA aren't with the people checking IDs. It's the clown show that's the fucking, all right, how many lanes are we going to open up here in the fucking at 5 o'clock in the afternoon when our heaviest traffic flow is? That's where the stupidity is. But the people checking IDs and shit, that's not the problem. Yeah. The idiots that are, when you're checking in.
Oh, is that where you have to show it? Because I know you have to show it to fly now. You either have to have a passport or the real ID or apparently military. So it's the ticketing agent that that has to
now, so
that.
if you don't do that, right? Say if you go and you're like, all right, I just have a carry-on.
Yeah.
Right. I checked in online. Then the first person that's going to see your ID is the TSA agent.
Okay.
Right.
I guess, like, I don't know how they're going to enforce this, but all I know is this kind of surprised me. Like, I've always known it was coming because you see the shit in the airports all the time. The real ID.
It's been in process for since pre-COVID.
Yeah.
They've talked about real ID is going to be a thing. And then fucking, next year.
Right. So, and I guess they set a hard deadline for middle of next month, which took me by surprise because I have plans to fly in July. And I'm like, oh fuck, because I don't have a real ID. I just recently got a passport, so I know I'm covered there. But my son Ben is flying with me also, and he didn't have shit. So we went this morning to sign up for passports for all three of the kids.
Yeah, I mean, passports are ironically, I think passports are going to be easier to get than real IDs.
Yeah,
especially in New Jersey, because you have to make a fucking appointment.
Right, and from what I understand, there's barely any appointments available at any given time.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Like, I know I have to renew my my disabled vet tag this month, which I have to go in for. So I figure when I go in for that, I'm gonna get my real ID thing squared away.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
All right.
But yeah, it's fucking annoying. But like I said, Ben doesn't have a military ID?
No.
Never.
All of theirs expired.
Yeah. But he's still at an age where he'd be covered, though.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
he's
in
still a minor,
theory-
but
In theory, you could go get him one.
right. Oh, we did. Oh, a real ID or
A military ID
Oh, yeah.
for a dependent ID.
Right. Again, I didn't realize military IDs counted for that. So,
Trust me, we're going through it right now with the air show.
oh God.
Yeah, it's a thing. So
Yes, but I think this is going to catch a lot of people by surprise. There's probably going to be some people who are flying in June who have no fucking idea that this rule is in place.
yeah, probably.
So
Even though they've been talking about it forever,
right, but
what they there's going to be people caught unawares.
I saw like one article buried in my news feed about it, and I read it. I'm like, oh shit, because that's what sparked me to, start working on the passports and everything else. So if you're out there and you're planning on traveling, if you don't have one of these forms of identification, you should probably get that for yourself.
Honestly, my recommendation, I mean, Jason and I both we're fairly frequent travelers, or I mean, I used to be, not anymore.
Yeah,
especially now that in my current position we're not allowed to go TDY, but that's a whole nother conversation. Get a passport. Just get a passport. You're even if with the real ID and everything else, like whatever it is that you're doing, get yourself a passport.
Yeah, they're good for 10 years.
They're good for 10 years. They're good as IDs. They're good for like, hey, some travel thing comes up and you want to take advantage of it. You already have your passport, and sometimes even to book, like if you're booking through a travel agency, like they want to have your passport information when they book.
Yeah,
because they need it for the airline tickets. Because a lot of airline tickets, especially if you're flying overseas, they want your passport information.
Okay.
So if you have any inkling of wanting to travel, you need to have your passport.
Okay.
So I mean, honestly, even thinking about traveling, CONUS or OCONUS, then get your passport.
Yeah, and I know a lot of cruises. If you take a cruise to, other countries or territories, they also want you to have your passport then too.
Yeah, and I can get to this whole discussion about the idiocy of people believing that somehow they're, I'm not even going to do it. Now, get your fucking passport. Just get a passport. It's not expensive. Like you said, it's good for 10 years.
Yep.
If you go to your county clerk's office, like if in Camden County, they have an office that does it.
Yeah.
Down the street. They'll help you get all the paperwork together. They'll tie it up for you, and then send it off in the mail. And then, 3 to 4 weeks, I think, is a turnaround right now, or it might be a little bit longer.
I think it's 6 to 8 weeks is what they told us.
But you can give them $20 extra, and they'll do a quick turn. I don't know if they still do it in Philly, where you can go in person and they'll do it like basically same day. That used to be a thing.
Like give you your passport the same day?
It was like you'd have a almost like a passport book. Yeah. The turn was like ridiculous.
Huh.
We had to do it in the unit. We had to take somebody down there.
Suck my unit.
But yeah, on 2nd and Chestnut, the old customs house, room 102, that used to be a customs office that was one of my dad's offices back in the day. They had turned it into a passport office, DHS, and that used to be the spot. So, but yeah, regardless of that, do it now. Like, oh no, we're not going to be traveling anywhere. It doesn't make any sense. No, fuck you. Do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
That way you have it.
Yep.
And get it now.
Yeah. So, heed our advice. I was taking the boys to get haircuts on Saturday. And while I was waiting for them both to get their hairs cut, the Phillies game was on. It was the Phillies Cardinals game, and it was the one where they lost 2-0. Not this most recent one.
Right. That was the Friday game. Friday.
Yeah, I think they were replaying it on Saturday because I was at Sports Clips.
Okay,
that's where I took the boys, and I'm watching the end of the game, and I'm just sitting there, really into it. I'm watching it. I'm kind of pulling for the Phillies,
right?
And unfortunately, they didn't make the comeback. But yeah, I watched like the last 4 innings,
nice,
all the way through, and I was entertained the whole time, and made me want to watch some more baseball.
Man, we gotta get you geared up, man.
Yeah, well, I've got the extra large shirt from the opening night.
Yeah, you got to throw it in a wash and let it shrink around you a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah.
we're giving that shirt to my father-in-law.
Oh, are you?
Because I can't do extra large. It'll make my tits fucking like it'll make my nipples stand out too much.
Hey, somebody might like that.
Yeah, I don't. My wife doesn't like it, so that's all I care about.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, I'm surprised at myself that I'm finally getting into baseball for real, like following it and watching it.
I'll tell you it makes such a difference. It's so much easier to get into the game when you're there, right?
Yeah.
Because it's this whole like environment.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're going into an environment of the game, and it's not so like it's not so intense that it's not like hockey where if you're not fucking paying attention to every single second, like there's line changes and the fucking puck's constantly moving around. And then all right, what's that whistle about? Like what's going on over here? You have to be either just blissfully unaware of what's going on or really fucking focused.
Yeah.
So it's almost not fun. It's only fun if they're winning, I guess, or if there's a bunch of fights. So it's like that. And then football is just it's all raw emotion for fucking 4 quarters.
Yeah.
And you're either going to you're going to walk out of there that it's like, oh my God, everyone's dead, or you're going to come out there wanting to fucking fist fight everybody. Or maybe that's just me. And most of Philadelphia.
I was gonna say there's a lot of violence in you today.
Yeah, when isn't there? And then you have baseball where it's like, hey, I can be into this inning, and then I have a little bit of time in between innings to get something and come back, and you can be as present as you want to be, and just enjoy it, and you're outside, and it's just. You don't have to be so focused on what's going on with the game that you're not enjoying the environment.
Sure, yeah.
And I think with most other sports, you're just like, it's not about the overall experience. It's about you're fucking hyper focused on what's going on in between the lines. And I think that's the kind of that romantic notion about baseball. And there's some people that really enjoy that, and some people that don't. I think, me personally, like this is one of I think I've talked about it before. Like I enjoy listening to baseball on the radio. Like I like the announcers when they're describing stuff. I know the game well enough where I can visualize everything that's happening.
Sure.
And it's in the background. It just kind of is like, I'm still doing stuff and I'm doing whatever, and I'm picking up the game and kind of ebb and flowing with the game as it's going on in the background.
Yeah.
Whereas if I was watching it on TV, now I have to hyper focus on it because it's just right there in front of me.
Yeah. You couldn't have it playing in the background while you're doing something else.
I mean, you can, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch it in person and listen. If I'm going to not be there in person, I'll listen to it on the radio.
Okay.
But the in-person experience, I think, is what's the best.
Hell yeah. Speaking of which, have you had your first Sunday game yet?
So we sold the tickets for that first Sunday.
Did you?
Yeah, it was that rainy shitty day.
Oh, yeah.
And
did the game even happen?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, the game happened. There was something else going on.
You had to have your hemorrhoids looked at?
No, nobody wants to look at them anymore. No, it was between the Kathy had homework, and the weather was just absolute shit. I wasn't feeling well. Like the day before, I wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things, just like, let's just call it.
Yeah.
And my sister-in-law actually has Sunday season package also for her 2 boys. And so we're like, hey, do you want to like have the extra 2 tickets? And then you can go. And they didn't want them. So we put them up. We put them up for sale. like at the last. It was like by the time those decisions finally got made, it was like minutes.
Oh wow.
Like, all right, let's see if we can get something for him, and it worked out.
Good,
because it was against the Dodgers, but the weather was so shitty. It just been a bit.
Yeah, kind of like what we experienced that other night. Maybe not as bad.
Well, it was colder.
Oh.
It was cold and rainy for us, but it was like tolerable.
Yeah.
The weather on Sunday, the other Sunday, was just like, ugh. It was just not comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this weather won't make up its mind.
No, well, it's nice right now. Like right now, it's nice. This morning, fucking 36 degrees.
Yeah.
When I left the house, like, oh, fuck you too. Fuck you very much.
And let me see what our 10-day forecast looks like. We have one day in the 70s, but it's all like 50s and 60s, and I see some rain and clouds. I don't know what the fuck this weather's up to.
I don't know. I got to keep reminding myself that it's April.
Yeah.
We're still dealing with lousy March weather.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's gonna be May, that's when things should level off.
Yeah. Because I'm ready. I'm ready
Yes.
to like not have to wonder, oh, is it cold? Am I going to need a hoodie? Am I going to not?
Right. Like, what coat am I going to get stuck with?
Yeah.
Like, I say all this shit, but in reality, I'm going to spend the entire time indoors during the day anyway because I'm at work.
Oh, sure.
And I don't go outside. I eat lunch at my desk. I see daylight, like there's windows like over there. So
yeah, weather sucks. But I say all that to say that my whole life I had no real love for baseball, and it seems like I'm slowly kind of getting more and more into it, and it's fun cheering for the Phillies. So
yeah. I'm glad you're into it.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
Yep.
We'll get the weather nicer, and we'll get some more games in for sure.
Yeah. That's really it for my week. Not a whole lot going on in the Roscom world.
Oh, no news is good news sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that, as I lean forward, probably out of the camera.
This is serious now.
No, so my fucking memory is like awful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been getting worse, and it's
like worse to the point where you might be getting concerned and you might need to see someone.
I mean, I see people all the time. I have a whole fucking team of people I see. The problem is that it doesn't reach a threshold where they're worried. So because my expectation of what normal is not the same threshold of what normal is.
Mm-hmm.
Their gauge for what normal is not the same as mine.
Right.
And for me, like today, hey, we're doing what I sat down. This is just a little peek behind the curtain for everyone, but I sat down here and opened up the show notes, like I usually do, since I don't get a chance to look at them before, very rarely. And I scroll down and I see main topic, Lords of the Sith. And I'm like, Lords of the Sith. So I legit thought I opened up the wrong notes. And I'm like, no, that's the most current one. And then I mentioned it, and then the look you gave me was like, what the fuck? What? Like, yeah, I thought we were doing the Reign of the Empire book.
Which we already did.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I completely forgot. That's completely gone. That is, I'm sure if I sat here and thought about it or I listened to the show, I'd remember doing it. But like, I thought we were sitting here to do that today.
Wow.
And there's the like, oh shit, yeah, okay, I'm with you, blah 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 blah, kind of like that memory. And then there's complete like nothing, like a hard cut in the fucking film.
Right. Where that reel is never retrievable again.
Yeah, where that thing is fucking, that reel is flopping around back here, right? And while the forward reel is still going.
Yeah.
But it's been happening a lot lately. And, you know, like Helmet Fire is bringing up in the chat, like stress and memory. And it's a real thing.
I believe it. Stress is terrible for us in general.
Yeah. And, you know, the older we get, the worse it's going to be. But fuck, man, dude, this is like self-therapy, I guess, but like I'm saying it out loud because I would say it to somebody else. But I have too high of an expectation of my own ability based on previous performance.
Right. Understandable.
And that muscle memory from previous performance, when I'm not meeting that expectation, then the other side of that is like crash and failure. And it leads to like paralysis, like task paralysis and everything else.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, and that's where I'm at. I'm just like fucking yeah, I'm just in a weird spot with my fucking my brain. Just like,
is it affecting work a lot?
I write a lot of stuff down at work, and I try and keep I keep like a task progression. Like I write stuff down and I make like check boxes to try and check stuff down. But there's definitely areas where I'm like, I've definitely forgotten things that I would not ordinarily do. And it's really tough too, because I get like, I'll have these fucking, I'm responsible for the care and feeding of these fucking co-pilots. And they'll come up to me with like, asking me some random shit about their upgrades. And I'm like, what are you talking about? like, oh yeah, we remember last week and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no. No, I don't. And my excuse is like, I see a lot of co-pilots, like, you know, but in reality, the little like flicker of, hey, here, it's this drawer over here, you know, the little light that's blinking for me to go get that file.
Right.
Darkness, like the depths of space, other side of the moon, fucking absolute fucking just darkness. And it's, I don't know, it's just fucking scary. Like the shit that this morning was, or just, you know, when we were starting it, just that shit fucking, it freaks me out. I never had those issues as an operator.
Yeah.
You know, my memory and my abilities had served me really well and probably saved me countless times. And to not have that same level of ability is just, it's tough, man.
Yeah,
I'm struggling.
It's got to make you feel a little powerless.
Yeah,
not be able to do what you. And I have similar situations. Like I have memories that just completely die on the vine. And I think as I'm getting older, my driving is getting worse, and I'm becoming aware of it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, what? I used to be able to do this with like, you know, one finger while I'm lounging back and just, but now I've got to kind of like watch the road and pay attention, make sure I don't go into the other lanes.
Oh yeah. And what's even funnier is it's like, wait a minute, what just happened? Why didn't that save? There it goes. Well, I'm having that same thought as you are, like, oh my God, my driving's getting worse. I'm thinking back, like, has my driving always been this bad? I've just been oblivious to it? Like, I'm like, nah, that can't be possible.
Yeah, for me,
somebody would have fucking road raged me into a fucking ditch if I drove this bad all the time.
Yeah.
And then I'm like tired to the point, like there's all kinds of just weird shit. Like, and I think I'm overly sensitive to it because like the big numbers this year.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm like, oh, I think it's like that. It's just a little extra stress for that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's fucking freaking me out though. So my sincerest apologies to the listening audience if, as I'm reaching back to try and remember, because I did read this book, I just didn't do it this week.
Right.
And I feel terrible about it because I legitimately spaced on it.
Yeah.
And not in a good way.
So we'll be taking a new approach today when we cover this book.
We've taken this approach before. You just may not have known it. I just like the fact that the way it happened today just fucking freaked me the fuck out. So anyway, moving on from that and Dave's inability to fucking have an operable gray matter.
Mm-hmm.
You familiar with the Masters?
The golf thing?
Yeah.
Familiar enough. I know it's like one of the biggest golf events of the year.
Right. You know it's a golf thing.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people, the Masters is like the golf thing.
Mm.
And I'm absolutely positive that I've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Because the Masters is the kickoff really to spring.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, it's like, hey, it's usually right around Easter. They're showing it on television. You have the azaleas are out. Like the weather is nicer. It's down in Georgia, so you're getting, generally speaking, nicer weather. And it's a fantastic golf course, and they play. The uniqueness of this tournament is that they play at the same place every year.
Mm.
And so when you play at the same place, when you win the Masters, then you get to come back in perpetuity.
Okay.
Right? You're a Masters champion. You get to come back they have a champions dinner. So all previous winners get to go to this champions dinner, and like it's a whole thing.
You can be like 95 and still like.
Yeah, well, they have a tea ceremony, where I think right now it's Gary Player, who's, for those who don't know who Gary Player is, you should Google him because he's a phenomenal human being.
Mm-hmm.
He's from South Africa, but I mean he's been a professional golfer for decades.
Yeah.
He's 90. I believe he's 90 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has like a 40-year-old girlfriend.
Nice.
The dude's like fit as a fucking fiddle.
Yeah.
And he's like ridiculous. Like his whole gym routine and fucking stretching and everything else. The guy's an animal. Just a little old man, and he still gets around on the ball too. But yeah, he was in an interview like on the set for the Masters, and he's talking about how like he's keeping himself young by having a younger girlfriend and all this other shit. It's fucking hilarious. But they have him. He's 90. Jack Nicklaus.
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember hearing his name 30 years ago.
Yeah. He got up there and he teed off. He hit a ball out there, and Tom Watson was the other guy. So they have the older generation of champions in this teeing ceremony. So for like my generation of golfers, like Tiger Woods is my age, right?
Yeah.
He's a couple months younger than me. That the Tiger dominance over golf for this period, he's won a lot. And Rory McIlroy. So the story is that Rory McIlroy won the Masters this year.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like kind of a prodigy at like 8 years old. Like started seeing him on TV, and like, he's from Northern Ireland, and parents didn't have much money, but they like, hey, this kid has a lot of talent. So they put all this stuff so that he could travel and develop his game. And, like the whole story going into the Masters with Rory is he's won all the other major tournaments. Like he's won the U.S. Open, he's won the British Open, and he's won the PGA, right? So to win the Masters they call it the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
And he's this 11 years trying to win the Grand Slam.
Okay.
It's been the topic for 11 years. It's like the headline. Like, is Rory going to do it this year? Is Rory going to do it this year?
Right.
So he's kind of like carried this water for, over a decade trying to win this. And like he said, even in interviews, like really it started in like 2014. Like he had a 4-shot lead that he lost and ended up losing the tournament. So he was, it's Sunday at the Masters. It's like the day. Like it's like anybody who has any inkling about golf, and most people who don't watch golf at all are watching Sunday at the Masters just because.
Okay.
Just because. And I was watching. I was doing chores and watching Sunday at the Masters, and it was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. Rory tried to lose it a couple of different times. Like he shanked a shot into the water and had to recover from that. And he was like the first player ever to win the Masters with having 4 double bogeys, which doesn't mean anything to you, but
I know what a double bogey is.
But so
I've played a lot of Mario Golf and Wii Sports Golf in my day. I know all the rules.
Well, and you can imagine that with 4 double bogeys in a tournament like that, you're not going to win. You're not going to win a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's even possible to come back from that.
But he did, and he had the putt to win in regulation, and he fucking pulled it. So he ended up going to a playoff against Justin Rose. All right. Justin Rose is British guy, right? So him and Rory are Ryder Cup team. They're on the same Ryder Cup team and all that other shit. And what's funny is like, so John and I, the John, Sterling Asia, we're texting back and forth, because he's watching, on Hawaii time, and we're going back and forth, and we're like, yeah, if Justin Rose wins, I still, have a little bit of a spot in my heart for the guy, kind of a soft spot there. And the reason for that is back in whatever that was, it was 2014, I think. John and I were golfing. It's when he still lived down in Florida. And we were golfing at this course called Stream Song, and it was like just opening. And now Stream Song is like one of the, like, yeah, it's crazy. It can't even get there. But we managed to get on there because it was just opening and it hadn't really like hit it yet.
Yeah.
And it was a tough track. And it just so happened, like it was like a stay and play package. Like they had a hotel on the property and stuff.
Damn.
So it just so happened that same week, Justin Rose was there. Like the clothing company that was sponsoring him, he was doing like ads for the clothing company. And he was out on the course randomly, like shooting, doing shooting for it.
Yeah. So
John and I we're playing, and drones are flying around, and this is 2014. Like drones really weren't as prevalent,
right?
So seeing drones flying around was kind of like a weird thing. And this is in the middle of fucking Florida too. This is like out, like driving for 2 hours into like the middle of Florida.
Yeah, Florida is what's the word? Deceptively large.
Yeah. So we get we go walking up to this hole because there's no golf carts. Yeah, we were walking the course.
Okay.
And there's people up there, and they we're like, all right, we're kind of standing there waiting. They're like, come on up. Go walking up, and I turn and look, and there's a bunch of people standing like in the tee box area, but it's big enough where they're kind of in the back. And I turn to look, and I see the guy there, and I'm like, man, that guy looks like Justin Rose. And I kind of looked again. I was like, that's because it is Justin Rose. Fuck. So now I'm standing there, and now I got to hit a golf shot in front of a professional golfer who just won the U.S. Open, like, a year ago, a year prior. So now I'm like, okay, all right, don't fuck this up. This is like the hard. And John and I, we're such idiots too, because we're playing this course from the tips because we wanted to see the whole course.
Okay.
So we're playing it from the hardest possible fucking position that you can play. And John and I, like, John's a really good golfer, and I would, especially then at that period in time, I was pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
So we were scraping around okay, but this was a hard fucking golf course. The kind of golf course where like you just breathe on the ball and it goes like when it goes off the green. Like, how the fuck did these idiots do it? So anyway, so it's like this. It was a par 3, and I'm standing up there with a fucking iron, and I'm just I'm like shaking like a dog shitting razor blades because they're fucking. I got this guy, U.S. Open winner, fucking staring at me, and there's this line of bushes. Like, I'm standing there getting ready to hit the ball, and there's a line of bushes to the left of me, and I'm like, okay, all right, and the hole's that way.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, all right. Pull yourself together. So I go, I'm like, okay, just swing nice and easy, right? Which is never, if you're ever golfing with Dave, nice and easy is not a good swing thought for Dave. I'm just saying. Like, the better thought for Dave is swing harder. That's a more accurate, like, helpful thing for Dave.
Okay.
So I get up there, I try and swing nice and easy. I don't swing nice and easy and fucking shank it directly into a fucking bush that's almost behind me. Like, I hit it in the craziest fucking miss hit possible in front of the U.S. Open winner.
Oh, no.
Right there.
Oh.
The bush is like shaking because the fucking ball just shot into it. I'm like, fuck. So I just was like, all right, I got to walk this off. So I step back. John walks up, fucking puts his tee in the ground, fucking hits the ball, gets it up there by the green, right? And so I put it in the ground, and I get my second shot, and it's okay. It's down there at least.
Yeah.
Second ball All-American. So ball gets down there, and Justin Rose is like, hey, good shot, guys. Have fun. And his British accent.
Yeah. And
so we come walking down, and I'm like, my fucking heart's pounding. I'm like, dude. I said to John, I'm like, dude, I can't believe how fucking calm you were. You just fucking went up there and just hit. He's like, yeah, why? I was like, because that was Justin Rose. And John goes, what? Turns shooting around like this, right? And so Justin Rose just standing there is like this, just waves at him, like, holy shit.
So John missed that whole thing.
He missed. He wasn't stressed out about it because he didn't realize who the fuck it was. Because he was in shorts, right? And professional golfers, you never see him in shorts. You always see him in pants because you have to wear pants on the tour.
Sure.
So the guy's in shorts. He's in a fucking, you're not seeing him in that environment.
Yeah.
So I just recognized his face. It's the only reason I recognized him.
Mm-hmm.
He's back there with this fucking menagerie of people. And I just so happened to recognize him. John didn't even think twice. He just fucking got up there, hit the golf shot. Thanks for letting us through, and fucking went.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until we're fucking halfway to our golf bags. And I said it, and he turned, what? The fucking reaction was great. And then we ended up later that night. We're heading to a restaurant. We go rip open this door into this the steakhouse, We open up the door, and they're in the middle of fucking filming something.
Oh shit!
Right? He's against this like wood paneling. Like Justin Rose is like standing against this wood paneling. There's like fucking lights and shit. Got other guys on the other side of the thing. And here's John and I were standing there like, and he's like, come on in, guys. Come on in, guys. So we're like, okay. Just go walking in. It was very, very surreal. But after that experience, I say all that. He was like super, like Justin Rose is not one of those, just based on that experience and, all the stuff you hear anyway. It was just one of those things where it's like, if he ends up winning, it wouldn't have been that bad.
Yeah.
And it ended up Rory getting to a playoff, and Rory wins. And so at the end of it, Rory, he makes this birdie putt out in the first playoff hole, and it just like erupts with emotion. Like you just tell, it's like just tears and just erupts with emotion. And it just really, it just validated for me like why that tournament in particular is so much different than the other ones. Like the other ones are a big deal, right? They come with, your major champion. You're always going to be announced as a major champion. You're going to have exemptions for certain things, and you're always going to be able to go to certain tournaments and blah, 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 blah. And that's all that stuff is great. But winning a green jacket, winning at Augusta is a completely different thing. And for Rory as a kid and wanting to do all of the things, for him, he just like, it's like he let out fucking a decade of emotion all in one moment.
Yeah.
And we all watched it. Like millions of people watched it all at the same time. And it was just like, oh my God. It was like the most real thing ever. To see an athlete who just stuffed a fucking 8-iron to 3 feet to win in that first playoff hole. Where it seemed like he had his focus where it needed to be for it to, as soon as he made that putt, it just went boom. It just exploded off of him. And that raw, genuine emotion was just, it's special. It's just really, really special. And I want to go to the Masters so bad. I want to go and walk the grounds, and the experience of it, something we watched, Sundays when I was a kid. This was something that was on TV.
Yeah.
And it was, when it was on TV back in the day, they only showed you never saw the front 9 of the Masters.
No.
Like they only showed the back. They only showed so many holes. Like when the TV coverage picked up, you were only watching so many holes. So it was like a mystery. Like, oh, what's the first few holes of Augusta even look like? Right. When I was younger, and now when the Masters app has you can follow Ahmed Corner, you can see every shot, you can see him on the range and everything else. You've completely turned that into now you have full range to see the entire tournament and be a part of it.
God bless the internet.
But, and here's the last thing I'll say about it, the best rule they have on that golf course, if you're there as a spectator, no cell phones.
Oh.
No cell phones allowed.
Okay.
And Bronco Fed phrasing. We're not saying phrasing anymore. That's a good one. That rule, the no cell phone rule, I think is the absolute best rule that can possibly exist. Because everyone that was there watching and watched when Rory won and saw that emotion, they're watching the actual moment, not trying to capture it, to replay it. They're actually present in the fucking moment.
Because if they did allow cell phones, all of those people would be.
Oh yeah, everyone they'd be taking pictures and all. And Rory actually mentioned it in the his acceptance speech. he said, because there was no cell phones, like everyone that was there,
Yeah.
right? And I hope they never change that rule.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's for something like golf, and something like the Masters. There's something to be said for just being present,
Sure.
and being in the moment. Even like concerts that I've been to, like
Mm-hmm.
I found that even though I'm trying to be more present and be in the moment, I'd find myself where I'd be like, oh, I'm going to pull out my phone
Right.
and try and record this because I feel like it's something that I want to capture,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not allowed. Like at a concert or something, you're like, all right, I'm not allowed. I'm going to get a laser pointer in my fucking face if I try and do that. So I'm just going to keep it. There are certain restrictions that I think are done for the greater good,
Oh,
as
of
it
course.
were.
Yeah.
So anyway, Masters weekend's a big weekend, and I put in for a lottery every year to try and win the capability to buy tickets to go down there. And if I ever do it, I don't care how much it costs. I will do it. I will go down there and I will do the whole thing, Magnolia Lane, and fucking, I'll have Augusta green shit all over me. I'll fucking, dude, yeah, it'll be a whole thing.
All right.
And I'll be at the home with fucking Alzheimer's, and Sunday at the Masters will be something I'll be able to fucking focus on.
Yeah.
That and play Angry Birds and do other random shit that's going to be in my memory.
Yep.
Anyway, that's it. I talked a lot about the Masters, so hopefully everyone was enjoying it. You don't have to like golf. You don't. Sunday at the Masters is going to be entertaining.
Yeah.
It's going to be entertaining. There's going to be the ebbs and flows. You're going to watch professional athletes. Say what you will about golf. The game, the way it's played, there's a level of athleticism that you have to have. If you think it's just going for a walk for 18 holes, if you ever go to one of these tournaments on the golf courses they play on, Aronimink is a perfect example in Philly. It's a course that's out by Villanova, and they've played a major there. I went there a couple times. One of the last ones I was there, Tiger was there playing. I got to be right there. He walked by me. Golf is really the only thing I'll fanboy for stuff like that. But there's not a level spot. Like everything you're walking these like severe slopes.
Right.
And you're going up and down these hills, and it's not just a walk in the park. Like your 4 days, if you make it to the second or to the weekend, like that's every day of going out there and extreme walking, and maintaining a level of intensity, mental intensity, as well as the physical exertion of having to make golf shots.
Yeah.
When you're at Augusta, you're doing it at one of the hardest places to play. Like, and you watch, if you're watching it on TV, like I said, you don't have to be into golf, but you're watching this golf course kick these guys' asses. They're the best golfers in the world, and you're watching them do shit that you would do. Like, oh wow, he just shanked it and fucking sent it into the woods. Yeah. I could do that. That makes you feel like, hey, they're mortal. So,
yeah.
Anyway, that's enough of that.
All right.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
Good win for Rory.
Now, don't be thinking I'm going to start watching golf too, because
no, you don't, and I don't expect you to. But Sunday at the Masters, it's a thing. It's an opening up into, hey, it's springtime.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, it's about time to get to the main topic. So, do you need a break or anything before we start? All right, well, let's get into it. So, Star Wars: Lords of the Sith. This book came out in August of 2015. So, it's been a minute.
It has been.
Or I'm sorry, April of 2015.
Still
so-
been a minute.
So we're talking the spring before Force Awakens came out.
Right.
So this is one of the early new canon books that Lucasfilm put out after the buyout. So
Yeah, like severely early.
yeah, and it's got tie-ins to Rebels. I want to see Rebels season 1 premiere date. Okay, so Rebels came out October of 2014. So this came out what, 6 months later, 7 months later. So it because it has a tie-in to Rebels. That's probably why they released it then. But anyway, we're a little late to the party on this one. But
I mean, some of us read it when it was closer to that timing. I'm just
that is
saying.
true. Yes.
Some of us.
Right. But how much do you remember?
All of it.
Okay. Well,
Never mind that conversation I just had about my brain at failure.
right. So, and of course, if I had known that, I would have like made an outline or something. But you know, we're just gonna wing this, freeball it, as the escape pod folks say, and yeah, let's get into it. So the overall plot of this guy. First of all, spoiler alert: if you haven't read this book yet,
Yes.
for whatever reason,
Yes,
10 years later,
We are going to spoil this book for you.
holy shit! It's like almost exactly 10 years since this book came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, April of 2015.
Wow. Look at that. Look at us.
Wow.
Look at us being
The timing was fucking great.
God,
And we did this on purpose, actually.
totally planned it. 100% planned it this way.
Yeah. So, but again, spoiler alert if you haven't read the book and you don't want to have the plot spoiled, because we're gonna dive deep.
Plot spoiled on a 10-year-old book.
Yeah.
Yep. Be careful. Here it comes.
So it's
Did we ever look in the Sacred Jedi text to see if it's over there?
I didn't know. You're not gonna like.
I don't think I don't think we did. No,
All right.
I don't think we did.
Okay. Well, if you need a synopsis, that link.
I know, but trust me, I have it open.
So it's an interesting story. I came into this expecting, it's going to be like from the perspective of Vader and Palpatine for most of the book, because it was presented to me as, this is the book about Emperor and Vader in this time after the Empire started, and they're kind of going off on their own little adventures. And I thought that they'd be like delving into more of the history of the Sith, or doing something to that angle than what actually ended up happening in this book. And at first I was not enjoying the book, but once we got to the end and it all kind of came together, I'm like, okay, that was a pretty good story. So, and it's all based around,
It's relatively short too.
Yeah,
so
it is.
It's a quicker read.
yeah, and it's based around these Ryloth Twi'leks, is part of the Free Ryloth movement, and one of them is Cham Syndulla, who is Hera's dad.
Right.
So hence the Rebels tie-in. And he's got a crew there, and they find out that Vader and Palpatine are actually coming to Ryloth in a Star Destroyer, and this starts a plot by them to basically attempt to assassinate Vader and Palpatine. And that's what the whole story is these guys finding this out and then trying to set up this
Right.
this ambush, and basically the whole rest of the book, it's them trying to track down Vader and Palpatine.
Right. And it goes so well for them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it does not. But sorry, I'm trying to think of how I want to say this without, spoiling everything all at once.
Spoil everything all at once. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. So, all right. Well, basically, long story short, the Star Destroyer gets there. They do fall into the ambush, but Vader and Palpatine escape on an escape pod, and they land on, I think it's a moon of Ryloth. I don't think it's Ryloth itself. Or no, you know what? It might have been Ryloth.
I think it is
itself.
Ryloth.
Yeah. and it's now these guys trying to figure out another way to assassinate them. While all that's going on, we've also got this internal Imperial um, struggle going on between the this colonel that's stationed at the base or at the planet and the Moff Moff Moores, who is the governor, the regional governor. So, and apparently she's been a terrible governor up to this point.
Yes.
But getting ahead of ourselves. So, the way I wanted to break it down was like talk about the individual characters and what they were doing in this book. So it starts with Senator Orn Freytag, which we know him. He's been in definitely Clone Wars. He was in the prequels. You could see him in the background as a background character. He is the senator from
Ryloth.
Yes. But he's also like, a kind of a slovenly character, and he kisses the Emperor's ass quite a bit. So he's one of those senators that's all in on Palpatine.
Yeah. His tongue might as well be Preparation H.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So he actually doesn't play a huge role in this book. Basically, just sort of the guy that's standing off to the side while shit's going on and being afraid. And then we've got Moff Delian Moores, who she also is. She's basically I'm thinking about this in terms of like DAO and like the ambassador and who's like their military counterpart, like at an embassy.
RSO,
maybe. Yeah, but I kind of think about it in that perspective, where it's you got the ambassador who probably doesn't really do shit, and it's her main military guy who does all of the work.
Yeah, you have like the ambassador's the chief of mission, and you have like the RSO,
the
security officer.
Right. So it's the RSO that's the one doing all the work, and that is Colonel Belcor Dre. Now, what we find out later is that Belcor is actually working with Cham Syndulla and his crew. Not because he cares about the rebellion or hates the Empire. He's actually seems like he likes the Empire, but he doesn't like this fucking Moff, who's, the governor,
the regional governor.
Yeah, who's basically, she doesn't do shit. She's like sits around and eats and like smokes weed and is a lazy piece of shit that doesn't do anything. And he just wants to get her out. So by helping this Free Ryloth movement, he's hoping to unseat her out of her position, so either he could move in there or, get somebody else in there that's actually going to give a fuck. So that's kind of where he falls in this. You got Cham Syndulla, like I mentioned. He's the leader of this Free Ryloth movement. And, I kind of wish I'd gone back and watched some of the Rebels episodes around this, because it probably would have added more context, but it's been a while. So I don't remember all of his dealings in Rebels itself, but he's the main leader of the Freedom Fighters at this moment. And then we've got his companion Isval, who's a female Twi'lek, and she's actually pretty badass. I really like this character, and she's sort of his second in command, and I guess they're also in love.
Right.
So
we're led
to believe that until the very end when they both kind of confess it. But she's a fucking crazy character, because one of the first things you find out about her is she carves her teeth like the male of the Twi'leks, where she carved them into points, like what's his name, Bib Fortuna. And
which there's some things that in the Star Wars canon, like some things that you don't need to propagate. Like, all right. This is where the egg that George Lucas laid, like, okay, Bib Fortuna. This is what Twi'leks are. Like, Twi'lek males have these characteristics.
Mm.
And now that's your core of what it is. Now we're going to have this like propagate out. We're like, oh, sharpening of teeth and all this other like some things you can stop that. You don't have to like continue to fucking make that a thing. Like, there was a couple of things I watched over the weekend, or I had it on in the background. It was the Lucas.
Light and Magic.
No, it was the.
Speaking of which, Light and Magic season 2 we forgot to mention.
Oh yeah, that's right. Do we have a date for when that's going to come out?
I feel like it's next week. Hold on. Finish your thought while I Google this.
No, so it came out. It came out a while back, but it was like the 2-hour long. It's not a Light and Magic thing specifically. But it's like the creation of Star Wars documentary.
Just one of those behind the scenes ones.
Yeah, but it was it was a big deal.
Was it like the one from Phantom Menace, from the beginning?
No,
because that one was awesome.
No, this one had all the. It was mainly about the OG. Oh, fuck me! Somebody in the chat, please rescue me from this.
So anyway, you were watching and
I had it on in the background, and it just there was things in there like decisions that for the cantina, right? The original cantina scene that George hated because it was like a bunch of unfinished fucking puppets from other bullshit, right? But then we have characters that have been built out from that one scene, that we're stuck with. We're stuck with this fucking, octogenarian fucking whatever.
The Wolfman who we saw in
right.
Fucking Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, now I have to fucking deal with that character later on. Like, Jesus, these decisions you're making have fucking 6th and 7th order effects for us later down the line, that we have to deal with fucking some broad sharpening or fucking teeth. Like, all right, do we really have to do that? Why can't you just get a tattoo or some shit?
Yeah,
like, I want to be like the guys and get a tattoo. Like, all right, I can deal with that. Why do I have to fucking hear teeth being sharpened? Like, hear and feel that.
That's kind of a it's kind of a gross thought. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's where my brain goes. It's like,
like
just a rusty file.
Yeah.
This I'm gonna be just like the guys. No, I don't need any Novocaine. I'm fine. You don't have to sharpen them. Like, what? No, you don't have to sharpen them. Like, this is just I just happen to have sharp teeth. Like, I thought this was like a thing the guys do. No. I don't know why you're doing that. Fuck. Anyway.
So sidebar, we found out this week that Light and Magic season 2 is coming out this week on the 18th, which is what? Saturday? Friday. Comes out this Friday.
Friday.
Now, bad news. Reading the official description, it'll consist of 3 episodes covering ILM's work on many films, including Twister, Pirates of the Caribbean, Casper, and War of the Worlds.
I'm fine with that. Like, It doesn't have to be Star Wars specific, because I'm into the whole ILM,
like the process.
I'm into just how their influence is so far-reaching into how movies are made.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so many things that they started are, oh my God.
What?
I just opened up Disney Plus, and there's like a thing with David Blaine, and he's like covering up his face, but his like face is shown on his hand.
Ugh.
It's like, yeah, fucking, he's a weirdo.
Yeah.
Some of that shit's just weird. Like, why would, like, you're just being weird. Like, just lock yourself in that box and just go away. Like,
yeah.
You're just being too overly weird for me.
I mean, you got to think of what he does for a living, and I mean, you probably got to be weird to.
I guess
to do that kind of shit.
Like, can you put that orange somewhere else? Like, wasn't it David Blaine who was in like Harrison Ford's kitchen and did the like card trick with Harrison Ford?
Oh God, I have no idea.
Chat, help me out here. I think it was Galaxy of Dreams, by the way.
Why are we talking about David Blaine?
Because he showed up on fucking
Disney Plus.
I opened up Disney Plus and it was like David Blaine with his fucking face covered. Oh, pets. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, it says do not attempt. His fucking half his face is covered. What am I doing? Summer of Legends. No,
What are you doing?
I don't know. Losing my fucking mind.
Clearly.
It's not Light and Magic. I just watched it. Why isn't it in my, like, here's your most recent things? Empire of Dreams.
Oh, yeah.
The story of the Star Wars trilogy. It came out in 2004.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it just, like, it popped up, and I was doing something in the Lego room, trying to, get that squared away. And I needed something on in the background. So I was like, boop, and just had that going.
Yeah.
But to come full circle back around to what the original point was, like, you have these things like sharp, pointy fucking teeth. Now I have to fucking deal with sharp, pointy teeth in this fucking book.
Right.
It wasn't necessary, George. It just wasn't necessary.
So one part of this character Isval that I'll go into that really doesn't have a whole lot to do with the main storyline, except the fact that it just continues to tie her to these freedom fighters.
Right.
Is, she's a former slave. She's a former slave who apparently they have this thing called the Octagon, and it's not for fighting, but it's like a whorehouse. And she was apparently in like the whole of the Octagon, which I guess is like the deepest, dirtiest, whatever part of the hole where they have her do God knows what. And she eventually escaped that to get to where she is now. But one of the things that she does is she goes back there every once in a while to like kill Imperial officers while they're doing that shit and free some of the girls.
Yep.
And it was the way they described the way she beat the fuck out of this one guy was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Like she just beats the shit out of this dude. And basically like breaks his fucking skull as she's like punching the fuck out of him.
So the thing I remember about that portion when they start talking about this the sex slaves, basically.
Yeah.
And how the Twi'leks, again, things that we've canonized in the Star Wars universe is that Twi'leks are like generally seen as like sex toys, basically. You know, they're either as dancers or, they're running hostels, whatever.
Yeah.
They're just seen as like, oh, they have galaxy-wide beauty.
Yeah. Except for that one from Mandalorian.
Yeah, well, that's why she had to be a fucking criminal, because she couldn't do anything else.
Right. She couldn't get a job, dancing or fucking.
She'd have to be exactly. So anyway, the part of this, like talking about that industry, it covers that part of the story in such a way that actually like it made a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's talking about a really pertinent social issue, but doesn't give it to us in a way that's preaching.
Right, like the human trafficking kind of thing. Yeah.
Because honestly, this is what you would want to do, right? This is this is what I want the Liam Neeson character to go in there. It's like, oh, you fucking grab my daughter into the sex slave industry. I'm going to go and I'm going to use my particular set of skills type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so she goes back in there and she's like, yeah, come on and get some. And then fucking beats the fuck out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that and that's how she's getting her revenge on all the things that were done to her.
Yeah.
And it's fucking great. It's great.
Yeah,
it's probably the best part of this book, to be honest.
Yeah,
except
and
for the end. And I remember the end being.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing as I was going through the book, because I'm like, man, I could read a whole book just based on her and her adventures going in there and killing random Imperials.
Right.
She's kind of like Dexter, where every episode she's going in there and killing a new person. But
it's like pussy to die for, apparently.
yep. So she was a really unique character, and this was early in the Disney buyout, where before they had to make the females just the absolute most powerful things.
But she was
on screen.
But that's the thing. Like that's the ultimate power, right? Is initially being victimized and then going back and not controlling, but there's terms that I'm not expressing, but being so powerful to go back and say, like, I'm not going to be the victim this time. I'm actually going to go and seek retribution for all the wrongs that were done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's honestly, think about what's good in Andor, where you have the unwilling, not the unwilling, but the character who's an unwilling hero, right?
Yeah.
This is this person that's doing things that aren't necessarily good, but for the greater good. Those are those relatable characters, right?
Yeah.
And she falls right into that category, and I would say that that's even more powerful than most.
Yeah. And she, whenever she would free a girl, she'd already have like a brand new apartment waiting for him, stash of credits, and just like, go have a life now.
Yeah.
So
go get yourself in a position where you're not going to be doing this again.
Right. So anyway, those are the new characters that are kind of introduced in this, as we go along. And of course, Vader and Palpatine, we do get some of them from their perspective, but not as much as I was expecting in this book.
Not as much as the cover would lead you to believe.
Yes. And it all starts. There's a scene at the very beginning. I'm still thinking of the audiobook. But there's a part in the beginning where one of Cham's fellow freedom fighters steals an Imperial shuttle, and they're trying to get it back to safety or whatever, but they're being pursued by the Empire,
right?
By Vader's ship. So it gets to a point where Vader he flies off in his fighter, and he essentially jumps out of his fighter. I didn't know his suit was pressurized to where he could survive in space, but apparently that's a thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, when they seal it up, they put it on there. It was
yeah. It's good. So yeah, apparently he can float in space, and he fucking flies to that other ship.
I have you now.
And while they're still on the communicator with Cham and his ship, they can hear him like walking through the halls, killing people. They can hear his breathing in the background. And then he gets up to the cockpit, and the guy who's like running this little mission is like a good friend of Cham's. He fucking chokes him out right there over the comm. So they can hear Vader's breathing and the other guy going, So
long, sucker.
Yeah, so that left an impression. And because of that, Sham and especially Isval really wanted Vader dead throughout this book.
Yeah. Vader's such a badass.
Yeah.
Like, Vader Unleashed is like the absolute best.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's just go. So many, it's in the books and the comics where we see like him so just powerful.
Yeah.
You see him the most powerful. Like, we see him.
We got that glimpse in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Of him.
Yeah, for sure. But that glimpse in Rogue One was prompted by some of the things that we got to see in like the comics.
Yeah.
Where he's, we've got you surrounded, and he makes the comment, I see, I'm surrounded by
Ghosts
dead men or something.
Yeah.
And just proceeding to annihilate everybody. The dude the dude was fucking crazy powerful, and it's tough to go from like knowing that okay between the creation of from between Anakin to Vader,
Mhm.
and then when you get to by the time you get to A New Hope and it's an Empire, like he almost seems more robotic by then.
Yeah, because he's trying to shed all of that Anakin knowledge, or that, memory of being Anakin, which we get a lot of in this book. Because part of what's going on is Palpatine has staged this whole fucking thing. This whole, them going in and getting ambushed because it was like a surprise visit, which, by the way,
Surprise!
yeah, imagine if on base we found out the president was coming. And, back when we were and just the fucking hoops we would have to jump through, in that 48-hour period before they get there. It's like, oh my God. I'm envisioning that in my mind as I'm listening to this. Because, they're getting these last minute words that, oh, fuck, Vader and Palpatine are coming in? Shit.
Oh, fuck. All right, we need to rent a crowd right now. Like, who's got their haircuts and your fucking uniforms together? Like, all right, where's all the shit bags? You're on leave. I don't want you anywhere near here.
Yeah.
Mop the floor and then get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, make him do all the cleaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Although I don't think any of these fucking kids have seen a mop and... I don't even want to talk about it. Anyway.
Yeah. We don't want to get into, how good they have it these days compared to us. And...
God.
Anyway, moving on. So that was the first scene of the book, was when Vader was choking the dude out over the comms. And, oh yeah, a lot of this is Palpatine's doing because he planned all of this. And it was really a test for Vader, most of this book. Because we had points along as we were going along where one, there was a point where Vader thought Palpatine was actually in danger. Because when they get off of this fucking Star Destroyer, they're on this fucking jungle world that's got all these creatures and fucking just all kinds of predators out there, and they get surrounded and attacked a lot. And Palpatine was being attacked, and Vader had a brief thought in his mind, like, oh well, what if they just finished him off right now?
Yeah, what if I just let them kill him?
Yeah, and then starts imagining himself as emperor of the Empire, and Palpatine later calls him out on it. Like after this little skirmish is done, Palpatine calls him out. He's like, "You thought about, killing me or whatever during that?" And Vader's like, "Yes."
Yep, sure did.
Because he catches him in a lot of these where Vader, he starts thinking about himself as Anakin, like with Padme and things like that. And, Palpatine catches him. He's like, "What were you thinking about?" And he's like, "The past," and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So this is going on a lot throughout this. And then it kind of culminates, at the very end where essentially Vader has to slaughter a village of innocent Twi'leks at the Emperor's bidding because, it's his final test. It's him going back into the Jedi Temple to fucking slaughter all those younglings,
Right. Right.
It's pulling him closer to the dark side.
That's the Skywalker. There's too many of them.
Yeah.
You know what? So what's funny, and I don't remember this from reading the book, but as I'm reading the synopsis, they talk a lot about the V-Wings.
Yes. Yeah. V-Wings are all over in this one.
Yeah. And I have Lego V-Wings that on the outset, I don't remember them being in a lot of things. It's all the V-Wing is a prime player in this, like, because you have V-Wing pilots that are loyal to the Ryloth Colonel.
Yeah.
You have guys that are part of that.
Yeah, Belcor.
Part of that series. So I have like one of my Lego on my Lego display. There's a V-Wing that's in there. It's like an Imperial V-Wing.
Nice.
Because there's a Rebellion V-Wing also. That's a Lego set.
Oh yeah, is it from Rebels?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I just know it exists. I don't. I have the Imperial one.
I gotta see what one of these looks like because I'm sure I'd recognize it as soon as I saw it, but I didn't picture it very well.
It's got the long nose. It has like the, yeah. I mean, you'll see it. You look it up.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What's cool about the Lego one, and I've actually bought parts from that set, is because it has the Empire logo, like a circular Empire logo.
Oh yeah.
As a piece,
like
as a 1x brick. So like, if I want to put Empire logos on other things, like I know that set has the part number that I can get it from. Because it's not a sticker; it's actually like printed onto it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so, man. How much do those go for?
They're not expensive.
Wow, I'd buy a shit ton if it were me.
Yeah. Well, you have to, because they're parts of sets. You have to people sell them individually.
Right.
So the tough part about buying Lego like that is you have to, if I'm buying it used, most people that are selling Lego, you have to a minimum buy.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to buy this one, and I have like a $3 minimum, let's say. $3 is a lot of Lego.
Yeah.
To buy. You have to be intentional about buying if you're going to spend $3. And you'd end up doing that a lot. If it was very specific that I did it in that instance, because I made we're sidebarring the shit out of this, by the way.
Yeah.
We had the mech suit. They made Lego mech suit for a Vader, a Boba Fett. I think I brought him in to the studio once.
Yeah.
But so I made one for a TIE pilot.
Right.
And I put on the shoulders, I put a TIE wing, and I got that emblem. I put it in the middle of it. So it looks like a TIE wing with that emblem on it. So yeah, anyway.
Awesome. Where'd I leave off? Oh yeah, well, the beginning scene, this was all part of Palpatine's plan.
Right.
And
the test slaughtering of the village.
Yeah, and
into the village and taking out everyone.
A good portion of this book takes place, as they're escaping, and then after they've escaped from the Star Destroyer, because the Star Destroyer comes into the system and it falls right into the trap that they laid. They put out mines.
That's a trap.
Yeah, they put out mines everywhere, and they had a couple ships that they were, using to try to take it down, and they eventually were successful. And they brought down the ship, and they had to evacuate, so everybody inside had to get to escape pods. And Palpatine and Vader were on one.
Right.
And the whole time, it's Cham's group is trying like hell to find it. We need the ident code for whatever fucking shuttle these guys are in. And also they were trying to kill the Moff Moores also, because she was a part of all this, because she was part of the rigmarole with them coming and everything.
And plus she sucked and wanted her dead.
Yeah. And so yeah, they're looking for them. Once they crash land on the planet, they're mad dashing to the crash site to try to get them before they get rescued. And it's really kind of a chase. They're chasing Vader, Palpatine, and a couple of royal guards, which, by the way, they revealed the identity of the two royal guards that were with them at this time, and one of them was a clone, which I didn't realize that they put clones in royal guard positions. But yeah, one of the royal guards was a clone, which was pretty cool to see.
It makes sense. I mean, because they would have been there from the beginning,
right?
He had those, the royal guards. Which, how effective are they? Okay, you have royal guards like what Snoke had, right? You had
they were armed and everything.
Yeah, they had armor. I'm sure you have.
Yeah, they're up there somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, armored fucking guys. They're all in red. I was like, all right, yeah, I can see them as being guards.
Yeah.
But these dudes are just in fucking, basically have tapestries wrapped around their shoulders and big fucking staffs of raw.
Mm-hmm.
And what, Do they got bazookas hidden underneath those fucking things?
Well, they do have blasters because that's one of the things that they use primarily in this as they're
they
traveling.
can get it wrestled from underneath that fucking tunic that they're wearing, like, or the whatever the fuck it is, the cape, curtain, whatever.
the drapes.
Oz is hiding underneath there. Like, I don't
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
exactly.
My penis so smooth.
Yeah, so we got that that little revelation about the clone being with them, and yeah, the whole time they're. You all right?
Yeah, I'm just adjusting.
Okay. They're being pursued by, and not just by fucking Cham and his crew, but also the Colonel Belcor, because he's like losing it as he's going through this whole fucking book. Because, like I said at the beginning, he only got in with Cham because he wanted to,
Get rid of her.
get rid of them off. So that's why he was giving Cham like information and shit like that. And at one point, he brought him in and said, "All right, we got this final fucking deal that we're doing. Vader and Palpatine are coming in on this Star Destroyer, and we need, more help from you. We need some intel. We need some fighters." And they're like, "Oh, and by the way, we have recordings of every single time that we've talked. So if you fuck us on this, then we're just going to reveal all of your misdoings
Right.
to the Empire." So he's like, "Fuck."
Yeah. How did you not know that wasn't going to happen there, you dumbass?
Yeah. So it's really interesting that they then started blackmailing him because as it started to go along, as the Emperor and everybody got involved, he was like, "Oh, this is getting to be too much. They're going to fucking find out it was me.
Mhm.
I'm going to be, fucking my ass torn out of my body by the Force from Vader." And yeah, it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
So, he's also looking for them because he's like, "Well, fuck it. If I'm going to be turned over to the Empire anyway, I might as well kill fucking Vader and Palpatine while I'm at it." And the Moff, like, he really wanted to kill her. So yeah, we got him pursuing everybody on his own. We got Cham and their crew pursuing him, and then we got the Moff herself, who's looking for just to extract Vader and Palpatine. So she's looking everywhere. So big search parties happening all over the place. And the scenes where they get attacked by some of the fauna of the jungles and everything, like these big fucking creatures and everything, Vader and Palpatine both just like go full ham on these things. And, they're talking about Palpatine like he's flipping and he's fucking doing his lightsaber and everything, fucking force lightning.
Cackling and shit.
Yeah. Yes. And that was the thing, because he was laughing a lot throughout it, which made Vader think like he's just enjoying this. He doesn't feel any danger at all. He's having the time of his life.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he just got him from behind the desk and he's fucking like, I get to destroy and kill. Yes. Do it.
Yeah. And so they were pretty active during this whole extraction, trying to get back to civilization. But along the way, they came across that Twi'lek village, which once they got there, Palpatine told Vader, like, all these people are going to be dead soon, and you'll see why. And it was later on when Palpatine gave him the instructions, like, we don't need any witnesses. Because one thing that also happened was Palpatine, when like the Empire forces started arriving, Palpatine had to stop using his powers. He's like, because nobody knows that I have these powers,
right.
So I got to stop, and we got to have no witnesses.
Got it. So,
which is something that's still very interesting, that he feels the need to hide his.
I think he's taking advantage of not taking advantage, and that's not the right term, but he's just he's taking advantage. It's more advantageous for him to say like, "Oh no, look, I have to hide my powers.
Yeah,
I need you to take care of this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? No, I can't go out there because I'm not supposed to be able to do that.
Right.
So you're going to have to go do it."
Well, it's interesting because, let's say that he ever did reveal it. Like, what would be the worst that could happen? Just more systems being like, fuck no, we don't want to deal with this guy? Or, like, how much of a difference would it really have made to him, do you think? Well, if anybody knew their history, going back to the Sith Empire, during the Old Republic days, the Sith Empire was bad. They were filled with Darths. And, if he came out like, I'm Darth Sidious, and they're like, hey, I remember reading a book about you guys.
Right.
You weren't very good. And,
yeah, because he never really, he never reveals it like, yes, the Sith rise again. Ah! No,
Yeah.
like, everyone would be like, wait a minute.
yeah.
But they're okay. They're okay with him being up there, being a wrinkled fucking testicle looking face, and having some vague idea like, I guess he's the guy.
Mhm.
He's kind of powerful in a way. It's
Yeah.
weird, but I guess he's managed to hide it for this long.
Mm-hmm.
But I would agree. Like, at some point, it's got to have zero-sum gain when you're hiding your power.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ruling this galaxy because I have the power to destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have the power to destroy you. Not just giant fucking ball of laser in the sky, and not fucking, breathing apparatus of fucking justice over here.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it. I can reach out and fucking lightning bolt through your fucking dome.
Mm-hmm. They mentioned that too. They mentioned that Palpatine at any point, Vader knew he could just fucking zap him and kill all the circuits in his armor and
Right.
everything.
I mean, there's canon for that. Like, we know that fucking Palpatine's like, yeah, no, I giveth, I taketh away, and fucking leave him there for dead.
Yeah.
So we know that shit could happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying before that. I lost it. Oh well. Yeah, they came across.
Palpatine and Vader were just annihilating shit in the
in the forest, and then
forest.
when they got to the village, Palpatine stopped using his powers, and when the Imperials started getting close, he stopped using his powers, which I thought was interesting. And we get to a point where everything kind of culminates, like shit goes down, where fucking Cham and his crew get there to where Vader is. Fucking Belcor, he gets there. Stepping backwards for a little bit, there was a scene where Vader was flying in his ship, or flying in the escape pod, I think, and two of the Cham's ships came around to try to like blow him out of the sky, kill him, and he reaches through the Force into their ships and chokes them out as they're flying their fucking ships from his little escape shuttle, which was pretty badass.
Yeah.
And that's
Why you don't need, like, just get a little bit closer and dead.
Gotcha, bitch.
I mean, shit, he could do that shit through the fucking TV, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. Like, yeah, he just. If only we could have had the spry young Vader
Mm-hmm.
in more movies.
Yeah.
But
what are you gonna do? Something tells me we haven't seen the last of Vader in live action, because they got the voice.
There's another one.
Yeah, they own
That's true.
James Earl Jones now.
Yep,
so.
They got him loaded up in a database somewhere for fucking make some AI voice.
Mm-hmm. You could throw anybody in the suit.
Yeah,
Throw fucking Hayden back in the suit.
yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't mind.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm not sure what else to cover here. It's there's so many little details, and I would suggest anybody out there who hasn't read it and has listened to all the spoilers, still go read the book or listen to it, because it was pretty entertaining. I think the guy that read it was fine. I've noticed Mark Thompson has been doing less and less Star Wars stuff.
Well, that we've read. Remember that this has been out for a minute.
True.
So this isn't necessarily like the the latest and greatest of the Star Wars to come out.
That is true. But yeah, the whole thing just ended up being a test from Palpatine on Vader to see how well he survives, to see if he has any betrayal tendencies, and then that final test, because they were socializing with these people in the village. When they got there, like they came across a little Twi'lek girl, and Palpatine was like, "Kill her," and Vader's like, "No." And I don't know why he said no. He's like, "Oh, we may need her for later," or something like that.
Yeah, he's gonna kill her with the. Palpatine was gonna kill her.
Yeah, with his saber, I believe.
Yeah,
and then Vader blocked it.
Yeah, I forget what the reason was though.
Yeah, and I think he mostly was just so she could help them navigate out of where they were.
Right.
Because they had just come out of getting the shit kicked out of them by all these fucking things, these beasts and all that, before they were able to finally get away.
Like, hey, we need a breather here before the whole fucking village turns on us. Let's just calm down for a minute.
Yeah. So that's how they ended up going to the village, and the villagers like treated them well. They welcomed them. They gave them food, and Palpatine was sitting there listening to people talk, and Vader was fixing a communicator off to the side.
Yeah.
So
everything was normal.
Yeah.
All the way up until it wasn't.
Yep. And then because the fucking Empire shows up, they land right at the time where fucking Belcor shows up, and he gets blown out of the sky because at this point he's gone completely insane. By the end of it, he's like, "Am I talking to myself? What am I doing? What's going on?"
Yeah.
Because he's like going all these back and forths about giving the information to the Free Ryloth movement, and what that's going to do to him, how that's going to affect him and his career, and or lead to his death or worse. So, and he's like just going back and forth, and he's losing his fucking mind, and he's he's completely out of it by the end.
Yeah, put out of his misery.
Yeah. And so Cham and his crew, they finally get to a point where they can they're on like a high slope or like a high hill, and they're shooting down at Vader, and of course Vader just starts walking up as he's deflecting their bolts and everything, like just jumping from rock to rock.
I've got your high ground right here.
Yeah, and ultimately he kills everybody but Cham and one other guy. Those two actually escape because Isval sacrifices herself so that they can get away. She basically goes to take on Vader, alone, and buys them time to get out, which fits with the canon because I know he shows up later again in Rebels. Can't remember the context of what he did in that show, but either way. Yeah, so Isval, she goes after Vader hand to hand too. So didn't last very long. He fucking force chokes her out, but he only chokes her unconscious.
Right.
Because Palpatine wanted her for later, so
yeah, he did.
My penis so smooth.
Yeah. So Cham gets away. The fucking Isval wakes up and she's like bound and surrounded. And this is where Palpatine kind of gives all the exposition as to why, he allowed this to happen and how he was planning this from the very beginning. He was never in danger. You were never close to killing me. And he gives the order, and Vader off with her head.
Her Twi'lek head, thump.
Yep.
Just hear the Leku just fucking blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
That would be a weird. Like, you'd want to do it just right. Like, if you're doing it for effect, you don't want to cut all the way through, so you're cutting the Leku as well. You want to just get the head and neck like through the spine, so that the head would just boop, and then you'd have the full effect of the Leku like hitting the ground.
That is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the book in a nutshell. It's one heist gone wrong, then the planning to sabotage the Star Destroyer that's coming in, and then chasing them through the fucking jungles, and eventually getting to him but not being able to take him out.
Yeah, I mean it's not necessarily a Vader and Palpatine adventure. It's more like a Vader and Palpatine side quest,
Right.
for this Free Ryloth movement.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, the big takeaways I remember specifically from this book was this validation of the idea that like the Twi'leks and their human trafficking, basically, or the Twi'lek trafficking, that's being done, and why this is kind of propagated through the canon, and it not validate in a way that this is why it's so consistent throughout the galaxy, is because of this.
Yeah. Now, did we see Twi'leks before Return of the Jedi? Or was that our first exposure? I can't think. Well, I'm sure they were all over in the prequels, but I'm talking like in the OG trilogy. I can't think of any Twi'leks that were in the background doing anything. It's not a huge deal. Don't hurt yourself.
I'm playing the movie in my head. Just give me a minute.
Which one?
The first one. Got to start with the first.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, I really don't think so. Especially not in Empire. Empire was a very self-contained.
Yeah, and even on Tatooine, we don't see any Twi'leks kind of in the background at all.
Yeah, the only place we'd possibly see him is like in the cantina, but I don't think
there's a Twi'lek in the cantina.
In the non-special editions at least. Who knows? George probably added some in the special editions.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was just curious. But yeah, that's a thing, the sex trafficking and the slavery, and it's just shows one aspect of the Empire and the stuff that they're doing all over the place, because this takes place 5 years after Revenge of the Sith. So
it's in between Revenge of the Sith and the Tarkin book.
Okay. Which we haven't covered on the podcast either.
Really? We haven't done Tarkin?
Nope.
Okay. I know I've read that one too.
Yeah. So we could possibly do that because, I mean, fuck, we're in this era anyway with Andor and everything else.
Yeah.
So this is kind of going on around the same time as that first season of Andor, probably.
I don't know that Tarkin had any like huge revelations or anything.
Yeah. Well, and that was probably my biggest takeaway from Lords of the Sith. It's one of those books where you could skip it and you're not going to miss a single thing. There's no extra canon knowledge that comes out of it.
But it's entertaining.
Yes, it's an entertaining story that I would recommend. So just don't expect to glean any more knowledge that you didn't have before about these guys. So that's kind of the book in a nutshell. I mean, we skipped a lot of stuff, but this is just kind of a recap of the book and what we thought of it. And I gave it a thumbs up for sure. I definitely suggest people listen if you haven't.
Right.
What do you
or pick up the book itself?
Yeah.
What?
Do people still read paper books?
I mean, I hope so. I mean, I listen to a fair amount of books just because of the nature of my commute, but
yeah,
I like paper books.
Mm-hmm.
We have so much of this blasting into our faces, like the artificiality of the screen, that sitting with a paper book and being forced into some natural lighting,
probably good for us.
More natural lighting.
Yeah.
Not that these LEDs are any better, but
yeah.
Did George Lucas's Negro?
Did you just call him a Negro?
No, it's the question.
Is the George Lucas Negro? All right, I don't understand what that question is, but I think it's somebody trying to get us to say.
I mean,
Negro.
I don't know. It's funny.
Yeah,
it's funny though. Before George Lucas's knee goes anywhere, I have to go pee,
All right.
and then we can like tie this off.
Okay. All right.
So
We'll
I'm
do
gonna
that.
do that
So we're
right
going to
now.
take a very quick break. You got it queued up?
Yep.
All right. We're going to take a very quick break and be right back after this word from our sponsors.
Colt 45, it's a dynamite taste, it's a grin, it's a groove, it's a blast. Colt 45, it's a dynamite taste, it's a win, it's a definite blast. Colt 45, loaded with dynamite taste. So grab one, down one, get yourself around one. Colt 45, malt liquor, Colt 45, it's a dynamite taste.
God, I miss drinking. But I'm going on, I think it'll be 3 years this December that I haven't drank. 3 or 4. Now I can't remember. Anyway, yeah. Been a handful of years, but, you know, the temptation is still there. It's... and I've had one beer here and there, but mostly I have a beer whenever I go to Galaxy's Edge because they've got this. It's a lager. It's like a Red Wing lager or something like that. That's Star Wars themed that they brew there, and it's really, really good. So I've had one there 3 times. The time that I went for Galaxy's Edge, the time that I went when it was me and Kristen, and then this year when Rob and I went into the cantina. So I've had 3 beers in 3 years. So that's basically my drinking now.
Good shit.
Yeah. Though I remember liking that Colt 45.
Yeah, it's got Colt 45. It's malt liquor.
Well, remember I got the 40 of Colt 45 the
Yeah.
one time we did the pod?
Yeah, and I remember it being awful.
Well, you drank some?
I've had it.
Okay. I don't know. I remember it tasting pretty good to me. So
It's malt liquor.
it's a dynamite taste.
Dynamite taste.
All right. What the hell are we going to talk about when we get back?
I'm gonna do the reads,
Okay.
and we'll be done.
All right. Well, play us back in.
Booyah.
And we're back.
These dreams are on when it's cold outside. I hate that. I hate that 30 second. We have to get a new 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's
The new song, the new play-in for the 30 seconds that Stream Song has. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No. So we got Celebration this weekend.
It's a celebration.
So I'm thinking we're going to get a new streaming show revealed, like a live action
Okay.
show. I think we're going to get another animated streaming show revealed. I think the people in attendance are probably going to get some Mandalorian and Grogu footage.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I think we're going to have a shitload of ancillary stuff announced, video games, fucking books, all of that. And then of course your Ronin Black Series exclusive to the fucking celebration.
These motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I know
and-
there's some Lego. They're making some Lego announcements for Lego
yeah?
Star Wars stuff. They're coming out on the 4th.
Okay.
I think they're live streaming that actually.
I'd like to think that they're going to live stream most of the event because they have in previous years.
Yeah, probably. I think Lego does. They have a separate thing for their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
course, I wonder how it's going to go time-wise, because this is all happening in Japan.
Japan.
And they're pretty far away from us time zone-wise.
12 hours.
Yeah. So I'm curious how they're going to do it. If they're going to like start out there at like 8 a.m. where it's going to be 8 p.m. here.
I don't think they're really going to give a shit about what the time zones are here, to be honest.
Yeah, you think they're going to cater to the local?
Yeah, just because of the nature
time.
of the internet.
Yeah.
Oh, Phillies are up 2-0 in the first. Nice.
Are they still playing the Cardinals?
No, it's they got the Giants. They're at home now.
Okay.
Let's see. In Tokyo right now, it is 8 a.m.
Okay, so they're not quite 12 hours.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the way the internet is these days, like if they could stream it whenever.
Yeah, I
And-
just feel like I'm gonna go to bed Friday night and then wake up Saturday morning and then be all this announcements and everything
Yeah,
that I missed watching live.
yeah, potentially.
So, oh well, what are you gonna do?
And I think they'd probably be more sensitive to it if the internet wasn't the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if they tried to do that, they'd still be spoiling it for somebody.
Right.
So they're just probably going to be, fuck it, we're just going to do it when we do it.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, I mean, I'm sure that in the Asia Pacific area, they're used to shifting time zones to, match what's going on in the West.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah. We shall see.
I'm looking forward to Lego announcement, obviously. I hope that there's going to be something video game wise that's more like something I want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that new game is not going to be good. I just it doesn't necessarily, it's not in my wheelhouse
Mm-hmm.
for games. So I'm hoping that there's something closer, like a first-person shooter, or a Battlefront
Yeah.
next, whatever that looks like, would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if it's not going to be, I mean, I would imagine since we haven't heard anything yet about it, and it's just in development stages, it probably wouldn't be happening for a year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it all depends on how far along they are. Like, do you remember that Eclipse game that they announced? They made this badass trailer for it, like
Mhm.
really detailed trailer. This was like 3 or 4 years ago at this point, and we haven't seen shit from that.
Yeah.
So
nothing ever developed. Nothing ever came of it.
same with the Knights of the Old Republic remake, where
Mhm.
if you remember that, they did the trailer for that several years ago, which we still haven't seen anything from.
Yeah, I wonder what did happen with that.
Well, I know they had some issues with the developer. I think they had at one point changed developers from the one that started to somebody new. And allegedly, I thought I saw an announcement that it's still in development. So who the fuck knows? I just hope, the video game side of this doesn't turn into the movie side of this where they announce a million fucking things and then nothing ever comes out.
Yeah, announce 12 things and maybe one thing will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think the overall takeaway is that we're in an upswing right now of Star Wars content.
Hell yeah.
So everyone should be happy and enjoy the ride.
Yep.
While we have it.
Yeah, and we're 1 week and 1 day away from the start of Andor.
Yeah, I can't wait for that Andor thing. You know what? It's going to be really difficult for me to not watch all 3 episodes. when they come
Yeah.
out. I have a feeling.
Well, my problem is I got to watch them all with Kristen. So
It's not a problem.
no.
It's not a problem.
It's a logistical problem,
right
Because we have
phrasing.
we have
is
different
important.
we have different work schedules,
Right.
and we don't feel like watching TV every single night,
Right. Right. Oh, dude, I totally get it.
So
I have an hour drive that I may or may not have a TV show on for. So
I hope you're not watching fucking TV as you're trying to.
no,
To and from
absolutely
work.
not. Who would do that? That's ridiculous and dangerous.
Yes, it is.
I would totally not do that.
Oh my god. You're killing me. All right, you got some reads?
I will read things.
Okay.
I will read things because they are to be read. I will read things because they're meant to be read in. On Wednesday, these may be out of date, so I apologize. So I'm going to keep it fairly generic. On Wednesday, ATSW Escape Pod might be discussing who they would recast in Star Wars Return of the Jedi, maybe. But first, we'll cover the latest in sports, video games, the hot sheets, and weird news, and movie time. Join Don Dellis, Snooch, Brady, Big Lovin', and Dragon Buddy in the live chat at 19:05, 7:05 Eastern Daylight on YouTube.
Yeah.
Thursday, Alan and Chris and Frank and Fur. We'll be discussing the 2023 horror fantasy, The Last Voyage of the Dementor, as chosen by one of their Talking Dead. Catch a review at Grave Reviews on YouTube at 2000 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight. I feel like these are new. This is a new read.
Okay.
Or my brain just doesn't anyway. It's that film reel that's like spinning off in the back. The Orange and Fett Show released episode 140, Batman Forever.
Batman Forever.
This past Friday or some past Friday. Catch it on Spotify or Apple.
I got to listen to find out what they thought about it. Because, in hindsight, it's not a great movie, but at the time, I loved it.
Yeah. Which one's Batman Forever?
That's the one with Jim Carrey, Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, yeah,
Riddler
yeah.
and Two-Face, and Val Kilmer as Batman.
And Val Kilmer, yeah. So it was timely.
Yeah.
Because Val Kilmer died last week. Right?
Probably a week and a half at this point.
Okay. But
Yeah.
we mentioned it.
Yeah.
And Bronco Fett says in the chat, this past Friday, they reviewed WrestleMania. And
which WrestleMania?
I don't know. It just says we reviewed WrestleMania. And they also, coming up, they are taking the citizenship test this Friday.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see how it is?
I guess.
Huh.
I've heard that it's challenging.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I heard, air quote, but people on the internet have said that it's challenging and that a lot of Americans won't be able to pass it.
Now that I'm not surprised by.
Yeah.
Is it just like a lot of history?
I don't know. We're going to have to find out next week after the Orange and Fett show.
Yeah.
And can tell us all about it.
Yeah. Definitely curious to hear about that.
WrestleMania XX.
20.
20?
Yes.
20.
That was a good one.
Yeah, Orange and Fett Show on Spotify or Apple. We want you to support the official Sidebar Cantina band till the end.
That's right.
Go to tilltheendofficial.bio.link and buy their shit. Luna Girl bought a couple of teas and is happy to report they are true to size and look sweet as fuck. So you will do it.
Hell yeah.
Till the End pushes out a ton of content too, so make sure you're following them on social media. No news this past week from used and abused or layman's terms, and if that changed, please put it up in the chat.
Yeah.
You can find us at the bio.link/the Sidebar Cantina, where you can find our links to YouTube, Patreon, audio podcasts on Apple, Audible, and Spotify, and all our social media platforms, including X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, and Discord. Once you get to the bio link, simply click the symbols under our pick to go to your platform of choice. You can also find all of our past Spotify mixtape playlists, NFL Draft announced, NFL Draft attendees announced. Sorry, got to pop up. Also on our bio link is a TeePublic merch shop. When's the draft? Is that this coming weekend also?
Well, let's find out. To the internet. When is the NFL draft? April 24th.
So a couple weeks.
Yeah, end of next week. April 24th to the 26th, because they got to spread it over days.
Well, I mean, it was always over days, but it wasn't covered. Like all the random days weren't covered the way they are now. I can't get into the draft, honestly.
I always watch the first round. That's about it.
Yeah, it's to me, it's a little bit more spectacle than it needs to be.
Yeah, and it's gotten more and more so over the years. Like last year, they kicked it off with like Eminem. And
Yeah, it's all right, NFL. It's baseball time, right? Hockey playoffs are coming up. It's baseball time. Just slow your roll.
Yeah.
Right. Just
heal for a while.
Right. You can have one weekend, sure, but I'm so sick of hearing about the fucking draft.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what fucking kid ran on his 40, how many clean and jerks he could fucking do.
Mhm.
Like I don't give a shit.
Because as we've seen in the past, not all of that shit translates to the NFL anyway.
None of it does. And people are gonna do stupid shit anyway. Like, and even though I've happened to favor a team that does do well with their decision making, it still doesn't make me want to watch the fucking draft.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Anyway, but the NFL makes $1,002,000,002 more than my 2 cents, so they are smarts. I am dumbs. But if you are the NFL and you have money, you can go to our bio link and go to our TeePublic merch shop and choose from 7 designs on everything from t-shirts and hoodies, tote bags, phone cases, exclusive tickers and pins. Tickers. Get some tickers there. Get some tickers. Woohoo! Wall art, magnets, notebooks, laptop cases, pillows. Just about anything you can imagine. Nothing says love and lick a naked Jason chick on a pillow. Go to bio.link/thesidebarcantina and click merch. Reviews.
No new reviews.
I'm going to actually change this read. I meant to do it earlier, but I didn't. Please rate us a 5-star review on Apple or Audible.
And you will do it.
Nobody's doing the Facebook page thing, so I'm going to eliminate that part of the read.
Okay.
What I will say is that write us a 5-star review on Apple or Audible, or leave stars on Spotify. Do whatever you can do to broadcast to the world your love of the show. However you do it.
Yes.
Random Facebook post, Instagram screenshot, graffiti on the fucking bathroom wall. However you do it. Take a picture of it, DM it to us, and Lunar Girl will send you a family swag bag.
All right.
Right. I don't care how you do it, but preferably 5-star reviews on Apple or Audible.
Yes.
Because that's where the magic happens.
Mm-hmm.
That and going on YouTube and fucking liking and subscribing and doing all blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like all that other shit. Do all of the things.
Yes.
But for sure, we want to spread amongst the masses.
Spread our seed everywhere.
Yes. I'd really can we get in trouble if we had like a campaign where we said, hey, we're going to distribute stickers, and then like we'll have a contest to see where the coolest sticker placement was, and
That'd
then
be
we'll
fun.
give them a prize.
That would be fun. Yeah. Do we have enough stickers for that?
We might not. We might have to buy some.
Yeah.
But there's something to look into.
Yeah.
Like how do we disperse said stickers?
Yeah. Now we don't want anyone to get arrested or anything. So.
I mean, it's a sticker. Like you're not gonna.
Well, no, I'm talking like some people could,
Don't go fucking slamming it onto the Mona Lisa here. Like, that's like, come on now.
Come on, buddy.
Come on, buddy.
Though I'd be really impressed.
That would be impressive.
Yeah.
I'd want to see like your mugshot, your Interpol mugshot from fucking defacing the Mona Lisa with our sticker.
Just know that we do not condone any
Any defacing of
yeah,
property
or doing any kind of illegal
no B&E, no
B&E.
breaking and entering.
Oh yeah.
No trespassing.
Oh God.
No trespassing.
Break into Mike Tyson's house and put one right on his forehead while he's sleeping. That would be the winner if anybody did that, but we're not suggesting you do.
Right. Or if you could have one better than that, then fucking good on you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we should make this a thing.
Yeah.
Well, we'll work out some of the details. We got to figure out how we're going to get people stickers.
All right.
But yeah, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
I'll work through that. But yeah, so we gotta make it like it's too easy right now. We gotta make it a challenge for people.
Mhm.
We want them to.
But we got to offer a good prize too.
Oh yeah.
Like we got to use some Patreon funds and buy something really nice.
Oh, shit, dude, we've got like 80 pounds worth of shit that we've been collecting that we've been saying we're going to hand out for years.
Yeah.
Oh shit, they're still here. No, we don't. Anyway, we have plenty of stuff, plenty of swag.
Yeah.
And things. So anyway, more to follow on that, but I think a sticker campaign would be fun. Anyway, leave us a review. If you're listening to us on audio, please consider joining us in the live channel. Mondays at Chasm is definitely where it's at. If you're new to Sidebar, please subscribe, ding that bell, select all, receive notification when we go live. Remember to smash that like button. It really helps us out. As always, a huge shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. You are the reason why we do this.
That's right.
And that is all I have.
All right. Next week, we're going to do an Andor Season 1 recap.
Yes.
There's
I will not forget.
I sure hope not. I'm going to try to watch at least a couple episodes in preparation, but there's also a lot of really good recaps on on the internet.
Well, I think mandatory watch for as far as the recap go is there's like a 15-minute one that's on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So I think we have to watch that one just so that we can have the same baseline as whatever.
Okay.
And then if we want to watch episodes to be ready, then we'll do that too.
All right.
But for sure, we're going to do the 14 minutes, the 14, 15-minute, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That is on Disney Plus.
Okay. That'll work. Cool. Well, that's it for the show then. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And, until next time, Dave and everybody else, may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. I don't even hear that.
Mm-hmm.
It was
so much different than when we
do better. Clanky clank.
Yeah.
Okay, now what do I clank?
That's good. Ugh. All right, folks on the YouTubes, thank you all for hanging out. We love you all, and
you're the best.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
No defacing any governor's